What is law? Law is a system of rules created and enforced by government bodies to regulate behavior and maintain order in society. It protects rights, ensure justice, and set consequence for violations. In Malaysia, various law governs different aspects of communications, media, and public expressions. Two significant laws in this area are the Official Secret Act (OSA) 1972 and the Defamation Act 1957. The Official Secret Act (OSA) 1972 safeguard confidential government information, preventing unauthorized disclosure that could threaten national security. Violating this law can lead to several penalties, including imprisonment. For Defamation Act 1957, protect individual and organization from false statements that harm their reputation. If someone publish or spread defamatory content, they can be sued and required to compensate for the damage caused. Law like this uphold security, fairness, and accountability in a functioning society.
Anwar Ibrahim is Malaysia's 10th Prime Minister, a position he assumed on 24 November 2022 after decades of political struggles. His career began in the 1970s as a student activist and leader of Angkatan Belia Islam Malaysia before he joined UMNO in 1982. Rising rapidly through the ranks, he becomes Deputy Prime Minister in 1993 under Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and was seen as his likely successor. However, in 1998, Anwar was suddenly dismissed and later jailed on charge of corruption and sodomy, which he and his supporters claimed were politically motivated. His imprisonment led to the birth of the reformist movement, pushing for democratic reforms and justice. After his release in 2004, Anwar re-entered politics and led the opposition to historic gains in the 2008 and 2013 elections, challenging the ruling Barisan Nasional Coalition. However, in 2015, he was imprisoned again on similar charge, widely seen as an attempt to end his political career. Despite this, he remained a key figure in opposition politics. In 2018, Anwar's party PKR, which is Parti Keadilan Rakyat, joined force with Mahathir and other opposition parties to defeat the Najib Razak government in shocking election victory. Mahathir became Prime Minister again with a promise to eventually hand over power to Anwar. However, political instability led to a power struggle and Anwar was sidelined as Muhyiddin Yassin took over in 2020. So, in the 2022 general election, no single party won a majority leader to hold Parliament. Anwar's Pakatan Harapan coalition to form a unity government with Barisan Nasional and other parties, making him Prime Minister. Since taking office, Anwar Ibrahim has focused on economic reforms, anti-corruption measures and promoting multiracial unity. So his leadership continues to be closely watched and he navigates Malaysia's political and economic challenges.
In 2008, Malaysian opposition leader Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim found himself at the centre of defamation storm. Utusan Malaysia, a well-known Malay language newspaper, published a series of articles accusing Anwar Ibrahim of corruption and unethical behaviour. Anwar claimed that these stories were false and politically motivated and aimed to affect his reputation. In response, Anwar filed defamation lawsuits against the newspaper in March 2008, demanding 100 million and a public apology. For months, both legal teams prepared for a trial. Anwar teams argued that the article were false and harmful to his political career, while Utusan Malaysia defends the claim that the article were based on the public interest and a fair comment. In February 2009, the High Court trial began. Anwar legal team and highlighted the politically charged timing of the defamatory articles. The defense, however, maintained the articles were not meant to defame, but simply to report. throughout 2009 to 2010, the case dragged on the witness and expert testimonies. Anwar spoke about the personal political damage that the article caused. In 2012, after years of proceeding, the High Court ruled in Anwar's favour. It found that Utusan Malaysia articles were indeed defamatory and awarded Anwar of 2 million in damage, along with a public apology and retraction for the articles. But Utusan Malaysia didn't give up. They appealed the decision, hoping to overturn the verdict to reduce the damage. In 2014, the Court of Appeal dismissed Utusan Malaysia appeal, upholding the High Court's decision, confirming that the publication harmed Anwar's reputation. Finally, in 2015, the case was settled. Utusan Malaysia publicly apologized to Anwar Ibrahim and paid over 2 million of damage and agreed to retract the defamatory statements. The case highlighted the power of defamation laws in Malaysia, showing that even the most influential publication must be held accountable for false and damaging information. This is a major victory for Anwar Ibrahim in the fight for the truth and reputation.
Alright guys, let's talk about Anwar Ibrahim and the Official Secret Acts, which is OSA. His case is one of the biggest controversies linked to this law. So what happened? Let's break it down. The Official Secret Acts, or OSA, was introduced in 1972. It allows the government to classify certain documents as official secrets. And if someone leaks them, well, they can face serious legal consequences, including jail time. So the issue, there's no clear guideline on what should or shouldn't be classified as a secret. Now, here's where Anwar comes in. His political career has been a roller coaster, and OSA played a role in his legal troubles. His court case involved classified documents, and critics argue that OSA was used as a political weapon to silence him. It's part of why his imprisonment was seen as controversial, both locally and internationally. Within the OSA, Anwar was also found guilty in a sodomy case that fell under this law. Malaysia's highest court sentenced him to 5 years in prison, a decision that many saw as politically motivated, impacting his ambition at the time. So, sodomy is illegal in Malaysia, given that it is a Muslim majority country, but Anwar was ultimately acquitted of the charge in 2012. He later stated in Parliament that he never applied for a pardon, but the monarch granted it due to what was called a clear travesty of justice. So fast forward to today, Anwar is now Prime Minister, and guess what? He has talked about reforming the OSA. The big question is, will it actually happen? Will the law be changed to allow more government transparency? We have to wait and see.
When it comes to public opinion about the OSA Act and the defamation case of Anwar Ibrahim, there were a lot of things that people have been talking about, especially the netizens. But there were 4 facts of that were widely discussed among people in Malaysia in regards to the cases. So the first one is going to be the criticizing of media ethics. A lot of media outlets never had the news and details that were concrete and genuine. So a lot of people were asking if whether or not these news are true. So the second one is the concern about freedom of speech, given how the politicians can simply say anything, but often criticizing the local people, commenting about their attitude. Oftentimes will put themselves into a jail time, or getting summoned by PDRM. The third one is the reflection of media accountability. Coming from the first fact, We know that certain media outlet never share the right news sometimes, and it doesn't have any concrete evidence towards the news that they reported. So people were crying on the media outlet to actually take responsibility of their action, not really wanting them to, create false news and make false cases that can go down in history to be one of the bad situation that happens in Malaysia. And the last one is public sympathy towards Anwar. Years after the cases that had been done toward Anwar Ibrahim, even now Anwar Ibrahim already become our 10th Prime Minister in Malaysia. A lot of people had sympathy towards him experiencing all those defamation, all those injustice towards him, and people feel sorry for him. The man had been trying his best to serve his country. A lot of people had rough opinion towards him, but at least people felt like those punishments were too harsh towards Anwar Ibrahim. So they want to give a bit sympathy towards Anwar Ibrahim. So the conclusion when it comes to the OSA Act and defamation case, it played a huge role on regulating information and protecting the reputation of our politicians. We know for a fact that a lot of politicians use this as a leeway for them to spread false news, or maybe to gain good reputation towards other people, their voters and such. For example, OSA has often criticized for its broad application, which suppresses whistleblowers and investigative journalism. As we all know, the Official Secret Act needs to be secretive, and sometimes it is for the best for the country, but there will be times that certain official secrets by the politicians, or maybe the responsible government officials, leaked out, and it will cause a lot of problem. The second one is defamation case. Defamation case often abused by the politician, and is always often criticized that to other people. It will raise concern when it comes to journalism integrity. This is simply because politician has the bad habit of spreading false news and just saying crap to other people. So oftentimes journalists will take this as some kind of breaking news or news reporting for them to gain popularity towards their media outlet. So defamation case will need to be taken more seriously when it comes to who and say. That is all.